Welcome to the Under God Project podcast. God is giving families the ability to create the nation, what it will be for our next generation. Together we accelerate America to be one nation under God again. Today's podcast is Ideas Worth Investing. It's all about entrepreneurship today. As we've been exploring our heritage of liberty, we've seen biblically centered entrepreneurship at the center of the prosperity of our nation. I'm talking fast because I'm really excited about our guest, guys. Biblically centered families that produce honest products and services that serve the virtues of the people, that bring out the best in God's children. We're not always perfect at it, but God does ask us to pray over our flocks and our businesses, etc. So I would say that not every revenue opportunity to build generational wealth looks like employment opportunities, but all revenue must begin with an entrepreneur. And they must consider the ideas worth investing, their precious time, their treasure, and their talent. There are few industries that are quite like the entertainment industry. There's just nothing like making movies, creating captivating stories that make us laugh, make us cry, and make us think.
So, gather your family and complete the American family promise and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity as one family under God again. Now, before we jump in, if you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe and like our videos and go ahead and see us on Patreon and then buy me a coffee. That is now a new thing that we are jumping in on. So we're excited about that.
We got to buy me a coffee thing.
Yeah. Lots of great stuff there, guys. We also have a lot of changes in the shop. I've added some few goodies in there and we're excited to see what happens.
There's too much to throw in at an introduction. So jump into the shop, see what you like, and do your thing, guys. Today we are joined by a movie producer, a director, a writer, an author, an entrepreneur, and a public speaker. Among other things, Mark Nathan is the executive director of 3 Lifetimes Media. And today we're going to be jumping into 3 of his latest projects while he gives us a little insight into the media industry. Mark, how are you, man?
Andy, Jen, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
It's great
Thanks for being here.
It's great to have you. It's great to see you. Mark, you've got a very interesting background with being an actor in college, creating a film festival. Tell us about the film festival that you created a long time ago.
Yeah, interesting, neurotic, I don't know. It's all over the place, but it's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I paid my way through school being an actor. I mean, I'm the kid of Southeast Asian immigrants, so just going anything into the arts was a total an epic failure in their eyes. Doctor, lawyer, engineer, like that's the only acceptable paths. But I wasn't interested in any of those paths. So I declared myself a theater major at Loyola, having done literally no shows ever.
Wow.
Just making movies in high school with my buddy, and just realized, all the best film actors, they all seem to kind of have some theater background too. So maybe I should just be a theater major. So I declared myself a theater major, having done nothing before the summer before I started college. And by the time I was done with school, I'd kind of paid my way through school as an actor. I did commercials, industrials, and theater and film all throughout.
Wow.
It was cool. Yeah. So
excellent.
I was doing some like independent shorts and student films, and of course all of that while it was all happening. But then the last semester, my senior year, started a film festival. We were sending out a short film that we had just done the summer prior. We're sending it out to all these places, and I'm an old man, so this was back in like the DVD days, right? So we're like printing out DVDs and burning DVDs and sending it to like the South Dakota Film Festival or something. And I'm like, who are these people? It's just some dude that made up a film festival. Like, I'm a dude, I can make up a film festival. So we did. And so we launched the film festival. We from idea to 450 people in the venue. It was about 90 days. And we had collaboration from the 7 major universities. It was the Chicago Collegiate Film Festival. We grabbed like the top student films from the different big programs in Chicago, kind of pitted them against each other at a cool venue. All the schools were involved. We had some sponsors. But yeah, from time of inception to the time of the actual day of the film festival, it was about 90 days. So
nice.
It was a wild ride.
I like this story because I think it really just paints the full picture, into the creativity of being an actor and but then also into the business of film right early in the career as well. So then you stepped out of that and you started a couple of your own businesses, wrote a book, did some consulting, and then went back into the movie industry, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Bunch of business stuff. It was really good. I'm glad that I took that route. I think most people, they just dive straight into being an actor and in doing all of that. There's no problem with that. For me and my family, we just weren't doing so hot financially, so I just felt like I really wanted to help. I wanted to contribute. I wanted to be a part of that. I mean, when I was I remember being 19 years old and getting calls from my mom asking if I could like help with the mortgage. I'm like, I'm 19, like this is supposed to work the other way. I'm supposed to call you,
that's a hard responsibility to feel too.
Yeah, and of course, very rarely could I ever do anything, right? Because I was just trying to make my own way. So I just figured, okay, if I can just get to the point where I'm taking care of myself, like that's a win, right? Because then at least I'm not adding additional burden to my parents. But then there's a certain level of maturity. Maturity is not an age; it's just accepting responsibility for
Absolutely.
whatever and anything whatever's happening in your life. You just got to be mature about it. And so my family was kind of in a tough spot. So I figured, well, let's figure out the money thing and let's prioritize that. Also, there was a lot of cool creative projects I wanted to do, like even that short film that we were sending out that inspired the film festival. It started as a feature film, and then it's like, no money, 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 no money. And then it's a 17-minute short, right? So I just figured for the level that I wanted to play at, having no money is going to cramp my style a lot. So,
sounds about right.
I figured if I could just fix the money thing a little bit, not to be a bajillionaire, but like at least get a more stable foundation. Then I don't need to be like chasing projects that I don't believe in, or I don't want to be a part of, but I just need it for a paycheck, right? So I had already done that once or twice, and nothing like in a major way, nothing immoral, but like I remember going to do you guys remember when T-shirts had the tags on them, like the Hanes T-shirt tags? Now it's all just printed on there. But literally, it was like right when they were starting to go tagless, and Hanes was doing this big commercial about how they don't have tags on them anymore. So it's like the idea of the commercial was that you're kind of like itchy, and then like music started, and then so you're kind of like moving but like to the beat, and Michael Jordan's in it, whatever. So I'm in like final callbacks for that commercial.
Dang.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself, I'm literally, and it was a T-shirt and boxers, right? But I'm like, I'm literally dancing in my underwear for a part. Like that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, I don't know.
How did your parents feel about that?
I don't know where this happened, but this is not. I got into the telling stories game because I wanted to tell stories, not just like be in commercials and sell a bunch.
Exactly.
So I did the business thing for a number of years, and it wasn't just like corporate. Having a corporate job. While I was doing the corporate thing, I still had that kind of entrepreneurial itch. So I built a direct sales business on the side of my job, an online retail business. And, it started as kind of part-time income, but then eventually it got pretty significant and kind of matched and then surpassed my daytime income. So that bought me a little bit of flexibility. I left the corporate world and had a little bit more control of my time. Then helped a few other startups get off the ground, helped like a Chinese manufacturing company expand to the US. So I was part of their North American executive team, and then did that for a couple of years, co-authored a book that led to some corporate training and consulting stuff. So did that. But about a year and a half ago, helped a media startup get off the ground in Dallas. And so that's what kind of ushered me back into the creative media world.
So you're back in movie making now. It's fantastic. I love the whole arc, and you find your own way because it's not just your passions, but it's kind of the moral center that you have that kind of pulls you into the spaces that you really want to be in.
And all along the way too, there was always ways to kind of keep the creativity going, right? Like I don't know if I just believe if God put it in you, he's going to find a way to get it out, right? So I don't know.
I like that.
You're just gotta
That's a
I
t-shirt.
mean, I'm doing business stuff, but then there were ways to kind of let the creativity, come out, creating content, and,
Yeah.
did a ton of content kind of directing with like doing masterclass kind of stuff and roundtables and whatnot. I've
Hmm.
created a lot of audios and kind of spoken all over the world because, yeah, just that background in that world, God just kind of made a way. And now that I'm back in the creative side, now I've got 2 decades of business experience and executive level leadership, and now I'm coming into the film world. And so I don't know, God always just makes a way, right?
I
Absolutely.
love that you have your hands in so many different pots here. Like you're like, I've got experience in everything. Like just hit me off, right? You've got it.
It's
I kind of want to ask you a question
it's
to
been a
back
lot.
up a little bit.
It's been a lot, but it's been fun.
Yeah. So when you were going through the first few stages of your film festival, right? When you were
Yeah.
having a hard time coming up with the funds and resources to make the film that you were wanting to produce, what kept you going? What made you want to continue down that path if you weren't seeing the revenue coming through like you were hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if no matter what you're doing, if you stop, then that's all there ever will be, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, then it's over. You don't lose when you fail, you lose when you stop. So well, if you stop, then it's over. If you keep going, then you got a shot at least. So I think from the time as an actor, it just built a really strong who gives a crap what anyone thinks of me muscle, right? Like I really could not care less what anyone thinks of me
I love it.
because you can't. Like you would just be fetal in the corner for the rest of your life as
Hmm.
an actor. Like if you just were consumed about what everyone thought of you. But also too, there was an eventual healthy understanding that there's a little bit of a numbers game to everything, right? Like
Hmm.
done it a number of times, and
Hmm.
you can't find great opportunities until you just searched around, because how do you even know what a good opportunity is until you've looked at a number of them, right? I just looking like I do, there were not as many roles for me in like the traditional theater space. I mean, theater has come from a long way, and a lot of it is rooted in, whatever, Shakespeare and a lot of Western European and early American foundation. So there's
Right.
not a lot of roles for me at that time. Now, fast forward a little bit, you got
Hmm.
things like, whatever, The Lion King and Hamilton, and, like all of the things that have kind of, erupted over the last 20 years. I guess I was just a little super too ahead of the game.
Sure,
Hmm.
But
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, there's only, there's a lot of things where it's just like, um, you're working and you're trying and you're going after it, but like it's just not the right fit. But like the next thing could be a great fit. So you just got to keep going. So it kind of built in a healthy, like, it's not personal.
Hmm.
It's just this might not be the right fit for me, right? Like it's not personal, but this might not be the right project for right now, right? But I saw that there was a really invaluable, just the strength you build is pretty invaluable, as
Nice.
as you so.
That makes it sound like you have a great support team behind you. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your family and what kind of support you have behind you?
Oh, my family is the best. I mean, I've been married for 16 years, and my wife is like the coolest chick ever. She is very like, it's a very much a polar opposites attract kind of thing. We have very
Perfect.
complementing skill sets, but we really have. We've looked at it like a big complement to each other. So there's this kind of like driver, nonstop, let's go make things happen
Hmm.
thing that I've got hardwired in me. And so that's kind of like accelerated her accomplishments to a level that she wouldn't have accomplished otherwise. But then also, too, like, since that is my natural wiring, I'm not wired for and I'm wired, she's just one of those people. Someone walks in a room and she can just feel like, oh my gosh, their dog just died or something. Like
Oh
she
wow.
can just feel all of the things.
So she's an
And so
empath.
there's like a love for people and appreciating people and valuing people in a way that I never had before, and I definitely wouldn't have. And I probably would have burned a lot of relationships along the
Oh,
way had
that's
it not been
beautiful.
for her influence. And so yeah, so it's very very much an opposites thing, but it's a wonderful compliment for sure. And then we got three boys. It's wild. It's a circus.
Is the house ever clean with 3 boys?
No, no, it's never clean. But we've got to talk about great support system. My mom has always been a phenomenal support, and so she lives with us. My dad passed away like 5 or 6 years ago
Oh,
at this
I'm
point,
so
but
sorry.
oh, thanks. He was a good dude, um, and he had a good run. But then after he passed away, my mom moved in with us. So then there's boys everywhere. But my mom living here is the best because she's a great cook, number one. So like, my boys are growing up with all the same food that I grew up with, which is great. But yeah, having a phenomenal support system is huge. And um, whether someone has a fully kind of fleshed out family, wife, kids, mom, and supportive family, I mean, my foundation over the years has really just kind of come back to like, well, all of it comes from you trusting God. So you can you can love people, but I think I remember hearing once upon a time, and this might have nothing to do with anything, but a lot of people trust people in their lives and like, oh, I love God and I trust this person. And it never really talks about that in the Bible. It says to trust God,
Hmm.
like trust God, love people. Most people like flip it, like they
Hmm.
love God and they trust people, and like you get burned a lot and all this kind of stuff. But like we've got a lot of love in our life and we got a lot of love in our family, because God's the foundation of it all. So
That's perfect. What a perfect segue.
Excellent. This has been a great conversation. I really appreciate you sharing all of that, Mark. You've got some very interesting projects you're currently working on. I mean, you're absolutely on fire. You've got 3 open projects right now, and really excited to jump into them. What should we know before we jump into the movie After the 10th? You're frozen again. We've got a bad connection.
this is the
There we go.
oh, we good?
You're
Yeah,
good.
why don't you start over After the 10th?
Right now?
Yep. We can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, after the 10th was the series that kind of got me back in the game. Before I was working with that media company, I just had this idea for a series and almost kind of like the cliffhanger of the series. And I just kind of worked backwards from there. I kind of ran it past some people and they're like, that sounds like a cool idea. And then over the years, even while I was doing a lot of business things, I just write down ideas, write down, a scene here or there that I had, or the idea for a movie, or write a treatment or something like that. And so I did that over the years. And so I started writing some stuff down and then started developing a little bit more, and ended up writing kind of like the pilot, and then brought on a couple co-writers and we wrote the whole season. But then as I was starting to kind of like talk to people and pitch it, and at least get some feedback on it. I wasn't even really pitching it just yet. I was just like, I've been out of the game for 20 years. Is this any good? I don't know. I feel like it's pretty solid. They said, hey, if you're planning on staying attached to it as a director, you should probably do something more current than 20 years ago. So that's valid.
There you go.
So that's why we kind of put together this extended trailer. This is a kind of a series premiere, or like a series preview, like a extended sizzle reel, just kind of capturing the tone of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to go for. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, with that, let's go ahead and we'll roll it, and then we'll jump in and we'll talk about some of the things. So
Sure.
After the 10th, let's go.
Do you like this first few words?
No, I
here?
hate it. That's why I wrote it.
Then please cut it. That's good, thank you. How are we starting this third speech?
Much like a prize fighter.
You gotta start this stronger. These are a little weak.
Bessie, we're ready for your mic check.
You got a rock, buddy?
Ooh, is this one that not a rock? Remember? Look, I'm so strong I can bring a rock in half.
6, 7, 8 we go. 1, 2, and a 3, and...
It's not supposed to be funny.
But you said it was a joke.
Here, I'll trade you.
My fellow Americans.
After the 10th, at its core, is a political thriller series that focuses in on what are we doing in a global crisis, which we all have a lot of experience with over the last couple of years. We know exactly what the government does, we know exactly how people respond, and we know exactly what society allows when we are faced with a global threat.
With no contact established or a clear intent, as a planet, we deemed it immediately necessary to shut down all communication.
The US government has reported aliens over Antarctica, and they are fully in our technology. We are beyond compromise. They have decided to shut everything down. So now we've got no cell, we've got no internet, we've got one TV station.
We began to reconnect as a country over the next few days and became fully aware of our most significant loss as a country: our millions of missing citizens.
Gone, vanished. Like, no one has any idea where they are. And of course, now we've got these aliens that are reported, and so people are assuming there's a mass abduction on a global scale.
Jake!
So we're following one family. We got 4 siblings. Jude is former military, a little bit of PTSD, a little bit of stress, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. After the 10th, Jude's wife and son are missing. That search for the truth of what happened is really the emotional driving force. Essie was at the height of her game as a global pop star. She is dealing with her own personal demons. As many families, they've grown apart. She is constantly trying to get back to the old days where her family was all together and they all loved each other.
Have you reached out to AJ or Sam?
You're joking, right? I mean, those two are like the definition of on the grid. AJ with her talk show.
Wait, what? As of when?
She was discovered when she was live streaming during the sirens. How do you not know that?
I don't know how that happened so quickly.
AJ, the younger sister, has found her own path in being a social media influencer and is now a rising star in this one TV station in the nation. She has grown very close to the new media director. We're not really sure exactly what the depth of their relationship is.
From influencer to field reporter to talk show host.
Truly.
You're what America needs. I'll see you tomorrow.
And our youngest brother, Sam, is the chief of staff to a wildly popular new president-elect Aidan Kelly. In times of chaos, all the rules are out the window. Protocol and precedent is irrelevant. You get the sense that he's a little bit of the mastermind behind the face of Aidan Kelly.
Is this a catastrophic error?
I truly don't think so, sir. I think that this buys us so much goodwill between now and our eventual taking of off.
I know we've talked this over and over. This is where we landed?
I know. It's anti-instinctual, but it's putting country ahead of party, ditching the craven political machine for legitimate leadership, the very thing that we have been preaching across the nation and that people have been aching for.
You're saying it'll poll well.
I'm saying that it is the right thing to do, so I don't care how it polls.
You're full of refreshing angles today.
I need you to lock in. It's a live address, we get one shot. This isn't like Hollywood where you get unlimited takes.
Hollywood. Sure looks like Hollywood.
We get one shot to show that you are fit for this moment, sir.
You're saying it's like live theater. Like when I was Kanicki in my high school production of Grease.
It's exactly like your high school production of Grease.
Then I've got it.
Less choreo, maybe.
More choreo.
We're on in 10, 9, 8,
sir.
7, 6,
From this guy.
5.
We've got this wildly popular president that is supposed to take the reins, but in the driver's seat right now is the lame duck president that was just voted out of office, and he's changing everything.
My fellow Americans, life has changed so much since November 10th.
So of these 4 siblings, we're actually living in 3 different worlds. The political piece with Sam. AJ is a rising star in this media world. Jude and Essie are with the people, dealing with the very real human aspect of this. So we've got the people, and we've got the media, and we've got the politicians. There's a constant question going on in the back of all of their heads. What is really happening here? It seems like it's a well-orchestrated political chess game to create the facade of togetherness while they are trying to figure out, how do we take this country back?
And I personally believe that we are so much stronger together than we could be apart.
Mr. President?
God bless America.
I wonder, with all that we've done,
Today, I announce that my administration...
can he?
What do we do if America falls?
Some light reading. The latest in the madness of King
The
George.
U.S. government shall hereby take control of all industries where workers are deemed essential.
Only for the time being, Sam. Emergency powers, you see.
Oh my God, a state-run television station.
Millions upon millions of American citizens missing, and all our information comes from one voice, the pleasing tones of Uncle Sam.
This is basically a police state. Mussolini-level control of production, all through executive order?
All through executive order.
No matter what people's beliefs are about what's happening, no one likes being lied to. No one wants to be fed garbage. What does the action-reaction look like as we deal with the fact that we might be at the end of our time?
I made a campaign promise to always tell you the truth. And there is a truth we cannot escape. The truth is we are dealing with an unknown future. The truth is that the world is panicking, and the United States must continue to stay strong and purposeful. The truth is that we've been preparing for this moment from our founding. We were, quite literally, born ready, and together, truly together.
Where's my son?
We are the last bastion of hope to preserve this life that we have known and protect the future of all humankind.
Take that shadow out, make it match the other side. We'll send that off to the White House in the morning.
May God bless you, and may God bless these United States of America.
There's so many cool vibes I get from that.
Yes, every time it's much different listening to it with the headphones on, like just
surround sound.
Really, really exciting.
Ooh, that's a fun mug.
Yeah, there you go, man. we were gonna we were just gonna go get some popcorn because we were like, this is really
theatrical
exciting
moment,
and very intense.
Well, good. That's the idea. Hopefully, people want to see it after they're done watching it.
Well, 100%. From the first time we watched it to the 10th time we watched it, we're just like, can we get more?
Yes, exactly. We were just talking about. We were just like, can we talk about the fact that it's extremely relevant today?
Gosh, yes. Okay, so first of all, where does this come from? Where did you get this concept of after the 10th?
Well. This was shortly after the pandemic. I think this was maybe the summer or the fall after the pandemic. And I remember just the entire time it was all happening. I mean, you know, there's real people getting hurt and all these kinds of things. So I get it, but it was just kind of wild to see how fast everyone just kind of like through, you know, like logic and vetting things and just really understand. I mean, you know, all we got, again, just objectively speaking, you know, the people dying all over the world. Of course, that was you know, that was happening for sure. But I mean, really, all we had were some videos from overseas that people were dying, and they just showed us these videos, and then they said we have to close down the country, and we're all like, okay. That's it. Like literally, we all voluntarily shut down the entire country because we saw some videos of some things happening on the other side of the world.
Right.
And so, to me, that was just a really phenomenally interesting concept. That you know, we are so ready to believe the things that we see on TV, and you know, there's this implicit trust in the government. And that it should be looking out for our well-being and all of these things. And so, yeah, that's kind of initially where it came from, was just this kind of idea. And then if it's, you know, if there are other events that are happening, like how could that be manipulated if there's the wrong people in charge, which often there are the wrong people in charge, by the way.
100%.
That's probably another podcast.
Yes,
topic for another
we could
time.
go on for a while on that topic alone.
It's a whole different follow acts, but I'm just.
I mean, welcome to Under God Project. That's kind of yep.
He's frozen again.
Yes, it's okay. We'll reconnect in just a second.
Hopefully. Oh, there we are. Okay.
Back again.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, so it's just an interesting concept to explore because I was baffled that we all voluntarily went along with just shutting the entire country down.
Just rolled over and let it happen to us.
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting because we're watching it and it's not like it's just reminiscent of that time.
Mm-hmm.
There's even some tones in it and the way that things work, particularly the political side of things, that you're like, yeah, no, it's still here. Like we're still battling some things. So we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, in so many movies, you end up in this like apocalyptic world or post-apocalyptic world where there's hints of the world that we came from, but like we're already in this world that is super unfamiliar to us with like references to how it used to be. But we never actually like watch it. We never watch it fall apart,
Right.
And to me, that's the interesting thing is like, how does the world that we know, like right now,
get to that point?
How does it devolve? Like, how does it fall apart? And if it were to kind of go in these directions, like, how would we react? Like, how would I react? How would my family react? How would my neighbors react? And so to me, that's the thing that with all of, I mean, I love me a good post-apocalyptic story and world, but we never actually watch it fall apart, right? And so to me, that's the really interesting like story of it all.
One of the things I thought was really interesting about the set, the trailer, the docuseries, is the juxtaposition between same family and the different characters are in completely different scenes, right? So you've got the political realm surrounded by all this technology that helps lift up the politician, and then you have the other part of the family that's in the middle of out in the boonies, out where nature is, chopping their own wood, exactly off the grid, around nature and life. And how they all stick together. I'm very interested in seeing how the story develops. Very interested in seeing kind of the adventures that they go on, being that they're all in the same family. They just do different things. And so I really look forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you this, season 1 is dope, man. Season 1 is really good. And a lot of it is just really, I don't know if I want to say inspired by, my family, but my brother and my sister, like my sister's in the medical world. She's a nurse. She's an ER nurse. And so like the stories she has are wild. Like when we all get together for dinner and all this kind of stuff, like she has these stories that are really fascinating and interesting. And then I'm in like kind of the business world and the creative world, the entertainment world. And then my brother's a Catholic priest actually. So he's got like a whole different, vibe, perspective, world that he like lives in constantly and all the time. And so like there's just very different interesting perspectives that we all bring to the table, but we all love each other and we all respect each other and we all like we're all a family.
Thanksgiving must be amazing.
It's very diverse around here.
Yes, it's very diverse, and the true sense of that. Well, again, we really look forward to it. It sounds like it's going to be an amazing journey.
That brings me to my question: where can we find it when it comes out, or when is it coming out even?
That's a great question. So we put that together in order to pitch it, and then I've literally only pitched it for like a couple of weeks, and then that media startup got a hold of it and wanted to like make it the flagship series as they were building up, but they couldn't afford it obviously just yet. So they asked me to kind of come on and help build the company and kind of like, hey, if you want it to be an awesome platform, help us build the platform. And I was like, yeah, sounds cool. Kind of a merge of the skill sets over the years. And so, then I stopped kind of actively pitching it and was with them for, 9 months-ish or so. And then I picked it back up and started pitching it again. And I came across an investor that was like, that looks awesome. What do you need? How can I contribute? And they had a certain amount of money that they were down to invest. And I said, well, we could do probably the pilot for that, like a full-on pilot. But then there's still a lot of steps.
Connection today is not our favorite friend, so we're gonna have you repeat that once we get back connected. Sorry about that. And
we have a great connection.
I know we do. We've got a solid connection. I don't know what's going on. It's okay. Well, this has been a very
I don't know what's
There we go.
There we go. You're back now, and where we left off with you.
Well, and that's really the most important thing I've ever said in my entire life. Is really what I just said.
Glad we got it down.
I'm glad we recorded that.
Right. So we left where you were saying what kind of the next stages were going to be, which is you had investor, you got the
pilot.
Figured that the pilot would be.
So
able to
I started pitching this again to an investor. The amount they wanted to put in was probably enough for like a pilot, but then there's just a lot of other steps to recouping the investment still. And so they said, well, tell us about this other project, this Christmas movie you're working on. And I'm like, well, that's probably the safest money in the entertainment game is a Christmas movie. So we talked through that, and and then got the first initial chunk of change we needed to make that movie. So then I kind of put that to bed again. So really, I've pitched this for like 4 weeks total, and it's led to like all sorts of great opportunities. But it's never that. It's always like, oh, if he can do this, then like let's have him do this.
Right. It's amazing how that works.
If he can do this, then this door opens up. But
we want to see after the 10th. As much as we're excited to see Christmas in Chicago, we want to see after the 10th too.
Right, and
I
between those two,
too,
between those two, there's this other one here. This is probably a good segue. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we can totally move on.
So this next one that you're working on is completely different. It's not for kids, but I'm going to be completely honest. Our kids have seen it because they see us laughing about it,
and they request it.
It's not for kids.
It's not.
I mean, it's not specifically for children, but
yes, you'll get it when you see it.
Our kids enjoy it and they appreciate it. They get it. They request it every time we're in the car. They're like, "Can we watch Little Donnie? Can we turn it on? Okay, can we watch it again?"
It is.
It's like the new Bluey episode. They're like, "No, Bluey's gone. Bye."
Exactly. It's really funny because like they actually
Bluey in the show.
Yes. We try to, there's a certain amount of being a parent that you're like, hey, let's try to not involve the kids in everything that we're involved in. There's adult conversations and stuff. There's so much that they pick up on that they get the jokes. They get half the jokes. They really, it's odd. You're like, no. They're like, no, Dad, that's who this is. We're like, oh.
Actually, you're right.
Wait a minute. So, you're right. So it's okay. So this next one,
it's a fun little project for sure.
Do you want to introduce it for us at all? Is there what should we know about this one before we open it up?
Sure. It's a great initial. This is just kind of like a storyboarded I think it's 4 minutes long, just to kind of give people again a kind of an idea of tone and all that kind of stuff in the creative world. I mean, there's a lot of people that have ideas, but then you got to get the ideas out of your head into some form that other people can kind of like see it, right? So whether it's getting it into a script or a deck or, some sort of proof of concept. And so, we had this show starting to be in development. I was chief content officer for that media company. And so this was a show we were starting to kind of get in the works over there. That media company is now kind of defunct, but like I kind of developed the pretty much the entire show. The initial concept was was not mine. It was just like, well, what if we could just have these big full-size personalities in these tiny bodies dealing with like.
Oh, it's a really good position to be in.
If we just finished this sentence.
I know. It's
we could have played it. But
yes,
that's okay.
We'll have him come back and then finish the sentence and then we'll jump back into it. So almost there.
We're getting it.
There you go.
It's just so funny. Like I live in the city of Chicago or the Chicagoland area. I pay a lot of money for internet, and it just I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same here.
That's the number one bill that we have. It's like internet, then rent.
Yeah.
It better be good.
Yeah, exactly. So just kind of complete the thought. You were just saying that it's big personalities, little bodies, dealing with big person or dealing with little kid problems in a big person way. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, we're just so familiar with all the style and the vibe of all these people, just kind of seeing them in almost like, baby form or little kid form. It's just, it's what's not to love? I don't know.
Exactly.
It's just, it was kind of great. So then I figured, well, if we're going to have a little tiny Donald Trump, well, wouldn't it be great if his like classmate was little tiny Barack Obama? Like that would be the best, like that. And then, you have all of these different personalities. So it was a fun project for sure.
Excellent. Well, we'll roll it and we'll come right back to you. Here we go.
Okay, what's for lunch today? I don't even know what we're gonna have, but if it's Mexican, you can go ahead and count me in.
Children, Captain Principal Joe and I have become recently aware that we are lacking inclusivity in our lunchroom. Everyone seems to only sit with whomever they feel comfortable with, which isn't very inclusive. So to shake things up, everyone must now sit with someone they normally would not. Okay, any questions? Yes, little Donnie?
This is stupid.
I'm afraid that's not a question. Why don't you sit with Skylar? She's not sitting with anyone.
Yeah, Miss Taffy, that's definitely a dude. I don't like to say it, but a lot of people here are thinking it. It's definitely a guy.
Remember, our word of the day is respect. Can you use that word in a sentence?
With all due respect, Skylar's definitely still a dude, okay? I just don't see it. But I think you're wrong, okay? And I don't like to say that, but you're definitely wrong about the whole diversity thing. I mean, look at me. I'm so rich. I'm so good looking. And that's not even me saying that. That's a lot of people saying it, okay? And I still let Ronnie sit next to me. But that's diversity, okay? I let him sit next to me. It just kind of happened naturally.
That's not diversity, little Donnie. Diversity is sitting next to someone that makes your great-grandparents uncomfortable.
Well, I'm staying right here. And I think all of you should too.
Miss Taffy, if I may.
Of course, Barry. Whatever you'd like to say.
Well, it seems like it's a matter of environment.
Why is it always the environment with this guy?
Perhaps if we change our lunch environment, perhaps we can create change in our class environment. And maybe, just maybe, have an extra recess later on today.
Of course, Barry. Whatever you think.
A bunch of stupid socialists. Wait, nobody's gonna sit with me? Not even Mexican Miguel?
My name is Michael.
That's the spirit. We're happy to have you here. We really are, Michael. The U.S. is gonna be very good to you. It really will.
I was born here. Perhaps. Nobody wants to sit with someone who's not interested in inclusivity, little Donnie.
Listen, Barry, they didn't switch to your side because they believe in your communist crackpot ideas, okay? But it's because you bribed him. If we're gonna be really honest, you bribed him. The problem is any game you can play, I can play better. I don't like to say it. I don't like to brag because I'm a very humble person. A lot of people don't know that about me. But anyone who moves to my table is gonna get free lunch for a whole week. It's gonna be paid for by me, okay? I took out a small loan from my father, and it's gonna be paid for by me. I don't like to say it, but I got a lot of money. That's right, they love me, okay, because I've got the best ideas, probably the greatest ideas ever.
I'll have the school give us free lunches for a full year.
You can't promise that, Barry.
Whatever you like, Barry.
You're the best of us, Miss Taffy.
I'll have the nerds, okay? And I got a lot of nerds. They all do my homework, and they do such a fantastic job. They really do. And I'm going to have them do all of your homework absolutely free. It's going to be so great. I've got the greatest geeks you've probably ever seen.
Anyone who doesn't sit with Barry is a racist.
Playing the race card is racist, okay? Let's just go ahead and say that.
Okay, kids. We have a new student. Everyone welcome Candy. Go ahead and sit with Barry.
Come on over, friend.
You're a bunch of commies. Enjoy your free lunch.
Nice.
I love this.
It's the best. It really is.
Well, good. I'm glad. We're just trying to make things that people want to see, you know? Like that's the idea. We're just trying to make good stuff around here.
Oh,
So.
I love that we can laugh at it. That's fantastic. It really is. Again, the kids are like, "Can we watch it again?"
I can't wait till there's like a Cammy character for Kamala. Lovely Kamala.
Right. Oh, we could.
Oh.
We could go
Kamala,
on for a while.
The dunce in the room, just wear the dunce cap. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yes.
So it's interesting. So it's what I'd like to see for it. And we had a little bit of investment money to like start getting the wheels turning again on it. But then I got just some Christmas. We just had to shoot Christmas in Chicago, and right now 3 Lifetimes Media is growing right now, but at the time it was just me doing everything. So
it is absolutely fantastic. You've done a great job on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, we're gonna pivot it a little bit and call it Welcome to America, and we're gonna have, it's the same concept, all that, but we're gonna actually make the little kid Michael, the little brown kid. I mean, it wasn't colored, the storyboard version. But like he's constantly like, he's new to this class, newer-ish to America, like the kid of immigrants, and
Right.
he's just like, I don't understand, and so he's just kind of like this objective, like watching these two sides always go at it. And actually, my goal is to make it. I mean, I'm pretty solidly conservative. But I'm actually interested in not really making it overly partisan. Like, obviously, there's a lot of ridiculous characters on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't matter who's, how you vote. Everyone can agree that there's a lot of people with big personalities that are a little bit ridiculous.
Right.
And like, just kind of like giving it to everyone, man. Just give it to everyone. But, of course, the core and the heart of it is going to be kind of like values based and, lined up with some of the ways that we believe. But yeah, I'm not interested in it being like overly politicized. I'm not interested in it being like, a bashing session for the left. I think I've actually shown this to folks that are liberal, and they are like, they think it's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
It's great, so.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great that we could just honestly just laugh at a lot of the big personalities, the way that things kind of are. Yeah. And you don't have to take things too seriously.
No, because I mean, we're even making fun of Trump on the other side too. So it's a good mixture of both, and I think it's a perfect comedy piece.
Good timing, good very relevant, very
thanks,
ready to go. So, is there anything we can look forward to on that particular project?
I need more time and more people and more money. That's what I need. There's about 15, no joke, there's like 15 things in our development pipeline that are in some various stage of development.
Okay.
And that's a little bit of just how the game goes. As a producer, you just have to have a handful of things kind of in the works, because then, you never know like what connections are going to come, and like the timing might be better for this story right now versus this, or just the connections, or the, here's this talent that's really interested in the story and their availability is X, Y, and Z. So now that gets bumped to the front. So it just really, you have to have a handful of things in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a little bit neurotic in that, I don't think everyone has that many, but we've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and yeah.
So let me throw this out there. So to all of our audience members, which we have many, if you feel so inclined to help out any of these opportunities or projects, please contact us, and we will get you in contact with Mark Nathan in order to help fund these projects.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are. We're big fans. We're big fans of obviously all projects. That's why they're our pipeline. Well, for in general. The way I'm building it, it's not just, I don't want it to just be the Mark Nathan show and just like, here's a couple of projects that I do. Most production companies are basically that, right? Like it's one or two, it's like the creative, and like they are just making stuff. I'm laying the foundation for like a studio. So I've just brought on some equity partners to, kind of help fund some things. And then I'm taking on more equity partners to help like fundraise for the projects that we're going after. So, you know, like I'm trying to build it out like a studio. So ultimately the goal is to like be involved in 2 or 3 things personally, like lead producer, director, and then another like 4 or 5 things that I'm overseeing. So if someone's even you know, a phenomenal director or whatever, like we're gonna have too many projects that we need great people on. So if you're a phenomenal creative, reach out. If
Perfect.
you got money, reach out. Let's talk.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it.
Happen.
I really love it. Well, it's been fantastic. This next project is in the completed stage. So this is the Christmas in Chicago project. It's completed. Why don't you tell us what stage of development it is right now? With
yeah,
you know,
we're like a week or 2 away from it being like done, which is really cool. We are a little bit late for the streaming kind of like purchasing window for this year. So the current plan is to just shop it at the beginning of 2025. However, we've got a pretty cool, just through some connections and all of the things, we're looking at doing a small theatrical run, like movie theater run, throughout Chicagoland and maybe a couple of like select cities where we've got deep networks and all that kind of stuff. So I was just literally on a call with a marketing company today, and they're putting together kind of a goal and strategy and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to see if we can get it out at least for a small limited release this Christmas season.
That's fantastic.
And then sell it to streaming services at the beginning of next year.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, that sounds like you guys are well on your way. You know, let's watch the trailer, and then we'll come back and we'll chat about, maybe we can nerd out about some of the details that you have in there. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
Alderman Ward, Alderman of your district.
I have a plan that will reinvigorate the Christmas spirit in our beloved Garrett Park neighborhood.
Okay, that sounds ambitious.
We rally together all the local businesses and we create little ornaments, hide them, and then families have a hunt so they can find them.
How does this help the toy store?
Anyone who comes into a salon, restaurant, they get a special deal only if they have the ornament.
Listen, I think this was great. I think this could be citywide. How about we set up some interviews?
You're a natural.
Austin.
Mr. Mayor.
Don't Mr. Mayor nice guy me. Shut this down.
I got a call from the mayor today.
To sell all these years for so little?
There's businesses losing money.
And businesses being saved.
See, what we're doing here is not a gimmick. Coming together is what we do. See, it's bigger than Garrett Park now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Christmas in Chicago.
How about I walk you to the toy store?
I like that.
Me too.
And cozy.
What a great project! What a great project! Tell us some of the things that you love the most about doing this one.
Well, I love the title. I mean, I can't believe that there's never been a movie called Christmas in Chicago. It just kind of seems like a no-brainer. And so when I came across that, I was brainstorming with a friend, producer and friend in distribution, and he was trying to get me down the Christmas rom-com route for a while, because it's, you know, there's like an insatiable appetite in this world for Christmas rom-coms. They said, hey, if you're looking for a win, right? Like, I'm just getting back in the game. I need some credits, right? Like, my business credibility is here, but my creative credibility is like here, because I haven't been in the game in like a long time. So I get it. I understand. So I'm like, well, the fastest thing I can do, that's good and like kind of scratches that itch for a lot of people. Let's do a feature. And he kept telling me, you got to do a Christmas romance movie, do a Christmas rom-com, do a Christmas movie, do a Christmas movie. I'm like, I guess. I mean, if you can find something I can get behind, I could. Yeah, we started brainstorming, and we started with the title, actually, like just that title. If I didn't do it, some LA producer's going to take the title, and then they're probably going to go film it in Toronto or something, you know? So
Glad you got dibs on Chicago then.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did that, and it's a great story about, just it's a little bit of a love letter to like small business ownership, because that's that's just my world and where I come from. So it does all the things that you want in a Christmas romance movie. Like there's it's got all the feels. Everyone pairs off at the end. There's a white Christmas dog. There's a 10-year-old girl. Like it literally checks all of the boxes. It just does it. I think it just does it in a way that's a little bit new, a little bit fresh. It feels much more like a rom-com at Christmas time versus like a Christmas movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I totally appreciate that you are bringing in the more small town businesses, because during the Christmas season, I feel like they kind of get lost in the shuffle. I feel like that's a really big push that needs to be there. And I think that's absolutely perfect how you placed it in there.
Perfect person to produce it. I mean, Chicago native, entrepreneur, really, you just know your stuff. It's a great fit. And I'm glad that I really look forward to seeing it. So.
Oh, thanks, pal. Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see it like done. We've been kind of living with it in various stages for months now. So it's turned out really well. We've had a phenomenal team. Our team is amazing. So
excellent. Mark, it's been such a great time chatting with you. We really, really appreciate your time. Guys, watch out for Christmas in Chicago, and we'll have you back real soon.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I love what you guys are doing. I love the focus on, just developing entrepreneurship in the country and encouraging that. And, the more stories we can kind of tell and get out there, obviously, the more people can connect with it. They can find their own story in it. So I love what you guys are doing.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Mark. Mark, we have a send off, and we didn't do this in pre, but
you didn't talk to him about the send off.
Not really. It's always good to do it awkwardly. Actually, it's the charm of it. What we do is we go. One of us will start and we'll say, "May God bless you."
May God bless America.
And then we'll all together say, "May God bless
this American family."
Right. So you're welcome to join, but that's the send off.
This American family. Okay,
yes, we all trip over it. It's fun.
We got to slow down
great,
before
especially with the lagging internet. This
yes.
is going to be perfect.
That's precisely why it's so fun. All right, you ready?
So, ladies and gentlemen, may God bless you.
May God bless America, and may God bless this American family.
You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, guys.